The hot new topic of today is Action Force. So, what is Action Force? From Valaverse. What is Valaverse? Valiverse is a completely new toy universe created by Bobby Vala, who now owns the Action Force brand. And he's revitalized it and bringing it back out with a brand new line of 6-inch action figures. A couple of these characters we're all familiar with as fans of G.I. Joe and Steel Brigade, Sergeant Slaughter. He's putting those out in a 6-inch figure. And I received today the first in-hand production samples. These are prototypes of a weapons pack. And there are, let's see, 35 pieces in here. And we're going to open these up and take a look at them here in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about Action Force. Most fans of G.I. Joe, which I've been a fan of G.I. Joe for well over 30 years, over 35 years. Action Force was the UK's kind of action figure version of G.I. Joe that later incorporated some 3 3/4 inch action figure molds from the G.I. Joe line. They had their own Action Force comic book series. Speaking of which, Valaverse has an Action Force comic, and I got all 4 of the issues that are out. I didn't get the variant covers, but I'm not a comic collector. I got these so that we could go over them each in their own video. I would like to point out that in any videos that I do for Action Force, I'm not going to be comparing these figures or this line to G.I. Joe. I feel that it's vastly different. Yes, they're both 6-inch action figures, but Action Force is not G.I. Joe. Action Force is geared toward an adult collector. G.I. Joe is not. There's several other differences that I'll talk about, but I've got to get something out of the way first. Some of you may not like this, but yeah, that's fine. Everybody's got their own opinion. People need to stop comparing Action Force to G.I. Joe. It's not the same thing. I understand that Bobby Vala worked for Hasbro, worked on G.I. Joe and whatnot, but there's way too much comparison going on between a $20 figure that we have on shelves or able to be ordered versus a $32 figure that we haven't even seen in hand yet. And I say that because it's a $32 entry-level figure, whereas G.I. Joe is a $20 entry-level figure. Of course, they're going to have more accessories. That's one of the things that I see a lot of people talking about. They're better because they have more accessories. Well, for $10 more, they damn well better have more accessories. It better be a nicer figure for a 50% price increase. That being said, we all got to give it to Valaverse for being a fan-created toy line made for fans. Most of the people that are fans of the Action Force stuff that's coming out, they are either current or former fans of G.I. Joe. I can't wait to get my hands on some of the 6-inch figures to check them out and see how they're made. Not yet opening this. These do seem to be very high quality, and I love the fact that all of these weapons are miniatures of existing weapons, like the Silencer Co. Maxim 9 pistol. That's a dream. I'm a firearms enthusiast, and that is a dream gun of mine, is the Maxim 9. It's an integrally suppressed 9mm handgun. You have the M240 saw with detachable magazines. Most of these guns have detachable magazines and features, and now none of these are painted, of course. I think that the ones that actually come with the figures will be painted versions, but you have the bladed weapons here, which have a lot of really cool detail. And you know, I'm not an opener. I'm a mint in package collector. But you know, I might have to break these out, and I'm definitely going to open them for you all, but I might have to break them out and do some paint work to them and make them look more realistic. And I can already see a couple of features that I'm going to point out about the weapons as well. Some really neat little features that they have. All right, we'll pry these staples up here, get them popped out. First, let's take a look at the back here. There's some text on the back. To General Fuller, Operation Backhand Debrief. General Fuller, the intel was correct and the mission was a success. My unit intercepted the Crimson Shadow, which is a throwback to Red Shadows. The Crimson Shadow armament convoy along Route 176 just north of Batesville. As we suspected, the convoy was to rendezvous with a swarm unit just over the border. The Steel Brigade engaged the swarm, keeping them occupied so my team could sack the convoy. There were roughly 1,000 crates carrying prototype armaments. A complete account will follow shortly. My unit included 3 wounded and 0 casualties. My complete debrief is uploaded on the secure server. Captain L. Barnes, Condor. All right, so I do think that it's really cool that there's a little bit of a story even to the prototype armament set. The Action Force story is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. The fact that there's a real, I hope I don't stab myself. The fact that there is a real a story to go along with the figures. So that popped out. Yeah, always cut away from yourselves, kids. Not toward yourselves, like I am. All right. Come on out of there. Oh, it's a Ziploc bag. Cool. And we'll look at each pack. Each one of these is packed in its own little bag. We'll take a look at this one first. Now, I'm not going to know all of the names of the firearms right off the bat, but here we have a milled receiver AK-47, and one of the things that I was going to point out, if you look at the muzzle here, see the hole? That's for splash, flash, bang, whatever effects. That's really cool. That's based off an old, it looks to me like an old Russian style milled AK-47. Very nice detail. Even some detail here in the stock, simulating the look of wood, maybe. Oh, that's cool. Now it's not going to be functional. It's molded in, of course, but the sling loop back there. Yeah, that's really neat. And the quality of this, it's a little bit pliable, but it's not like rubbery. It's a good solid plastic. And then here we have, I believe, is a Mossberg 590 shotgun with a bird's head grip. It's just a pump shotgun, 12 gauge. Decent amount of detail on this as well. As you can see, the texturing and the grip. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Then we have the Chris Vector. This is the rifle version. That's not a really long suppressor. The rifle version just looks cool. A lot of detail in this as well, with what appears to be an EOTech on top. Man, I really like the realistic weapons. I think they're very cool. Now, there's no removable magazine for this one, of course. At least I don't think it's removable. No, it doesn't seem to be. And the magazine in the MP5S, I think that's an MP5SD. The MP5 is not removable, but check out the detail in this. It has a quad rail on it. No, that's not functional, but it's still a very nice piece of detail. I'm trying to keep this focused here so that you all can see the detail in the latch mechanism for the folding stock and whatnot. There we go. Very cool. Now, the AK-47 does have detachable magazines. As you can see here, the magazine well is open, and it did come with extra magazines. So, let's take a look. Okay, we have the, come on and focus. We have the rock and lock type mag. Let's see if we can get that to fit in there. All right, the magazine does not fit the magazine well. Okay, forced it in. It's a good tight fit, and honestly, much like a real AK, if you kind of rock and lock, it goes right in. And we'll do that with this one too. Yeah, kind of rock and lock it in there. All right, moving on. Maybe this will help us stay in the focus a little bit better, but here we have the machine gun with a bipod and a boxed magazine. Now this is a belt fed. I believe it's an M60. Don't hold me to that. I think it's the M60, but that plugs right in. A nice tight fit. And the bipod should pop in right here. that snapped right in place nicely. I really like that. That's very cool. And like I said, as a firearms enthusiast, I also have a gun channel. The fact that the Action Force figures will come with realistic firearms is very cool. And that is the grenade launcher. Another neat set. And I think this, yes, the cylinder here actually rotates. It probably comes out. I'm not going to try to take it out, but it does rotate. That's a nice little feature. And here we have the SCAR, a suppressed SCAR. And again, the muzzle has a hole for a flash effect. This does have removable magazines. Not quite as tight as the AK mag. Let's see, what's the top and what's the bottom? This looks like probably the top. Yeah, fits right in, looks good. Nice detail on the SCAR. Looks like it's got an aim point. The flip up sights, vertical grip, suppressor. A lot of detail into this one. And then we have, I'm not sure what this is. This might be a SIG or something similar. M4 type firearm. This one would be piston driven because it has a folding stock and no buffer tube assembly. But it also has a launcher and focus. You see it has the holes for the flash effects. This one does as well. Hole in the, I'm gonna get the card back. This one does not have the hole for the flash effect, but it does have the removable magazines. This will be a long range AR type firearm. Now for the handguns, this looks like it may actually be a Walther or CZ pistol. Here you have the silencer code Maxim 9. The detail in the Maxim 9 is fantastic. From the integrally suppressed gun, from the integral, I can't talk. From the integral suppressor down to the grip and the way the trigger looks, this is a straight up miniaturized version of the Maxim 9. I absolutely love this. You also have a revolver with a lot of nice detail. A Desert Eagle, again, very detailed. And a suppressed, that's an H&K, what is it? It's an H&K, but I cannot think of the name of it. I'm fairly sure it's an H&K, but it's a submachine pistol. And again, the suppressor, you have the hole for the flash effect, and that one as well as in the revolver and the Maxim 9. So those will all take flash effects. For the bladed weapons, we have a tomahawk. Check out the detail in the handle. The leather wrap, I could see that being a brown over a like a dark brown over a light brown, or just leave it black and paint the bolts up here a metallic color. You have a scythe. Again, looks like a modern weapon, almost like an ice pick axe. Nice big Bowie knife. And again, I want to throw stuff in the floor, but I do want to stress the fact that these do seem to be very good quality. They're not like flimsy rubberized plastic. Here we have a small dagger. Looks like I'm gonna have to use this card again. Just doesn't want to focus on anything. So the last piece I lost into the abyss below. It actually went into a bin, a tote full of action figure stuff. So I'll have to dig that out and get it back with the rest of them later. But here is the weapons pack all out of the bags. Great looking stuff. Seems to be very high quality, and the detail is impressive. Thanks for checking out the Valaverse Action Force Weapons Pack, the prototype weapons pack with me. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate, I will not be comparing any of this stuff to G.I. Joe because it's not G.I. Joe. It's Action Force. There may be a couple of original G.I. Joe characters, but this is all new, all independent. This is Action Force. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when I post new videos. And coming up here soon, I will be, come on, let me pick them up. I will be doing a video for each of the 4 issues of the Action Force comic. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.